We are live. I'm gonna flip my camera. Go live with Sarah and Sidekicks. And let's see. Hey everyone, we're just waiting on Sarah here.
Do you know how many are connected?
Yeah, there's two. So up there we've got two visitors, and you can see a couple people joined. I've got Wes here with me and Bill here with me. It looks like Sarah just joined. Sarah, I sent a request to you. I'm not sure how that comes through. Maybe. I can try it again.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do I have one of those?
Well, there we go.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Good to see that we've got you on here.
Yes, it's great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I was gonna show it on my computer screen. I've got Wes and
Hi, Wes. Great to see you too.
and Bill to my right here.
Hi, Bill.
I was gonna have it up on my computer, but it doesn't look like it's showing the live, so I'm not sure why that is. So we will just be watching on my phone, I guess.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Yes. Yep. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm excited to be able to talk about what the Pet Tutor has done for me.
Yeah, we're excited about it too, Sarah. I don't know if you, obviously we've connected a little bit and we know a little bit about you, but do you want to maybe introduce yourself, how you got started?
Yeah, so I'm a certified professional dog trainer, and I am actually in a wheelchair. So I have a disease called spinal muscular atrophy, and it's a neuromuscular disease which affects the muscle. So it's basically a muscle weakening disease, and I've been in a wheelchair ever since I was a child. So we adopted our first dog when I was about 5 years old, and she was just amazing, and I became an animal lover ever since then. So from then, I just wanted to be able to connect more with animals and help people be able to understand the animals more. So I became a trainer, and it was a little bit of a challenge because, of course, I have mobility issues, and I had to. So it was through the Ethology Institute of Cambridge, and there was a pretty difficult exam that I had to complete, and so it was a lot of behaviors of how to train my dog, and very precise types of behaviors. So things like heel work and a lot of distance behaviors and stays, and duration, all those kinds of things. So I worked with my dog Annie, which is a little Havanese. She's about 16 pounds. So for me to be able to train her in a wheelchair was a bit of a challenge, for example, just to give her treats, because she would have to basically stand on her hind legs for me to give it to her in her mouth, or I would have to drop it, which would tend to go all over the place. So, she's a smaller dog, and for stay, for example, it's a little bit more challenging to be able to have her do a down stay. And if I were to throw the treat, she'd end up getting up to get it and she'd break that stay. So it was a lot harder for me to be able to do that. So I knew I needed something. And I loved the Pet Tutor because it helped me so much to be able to achieve my goal of becoming a dog trainer. And I think the features that really stood out for me was the remote control, because most remotes you would have to push a button, and I don't have the strength for that. So what I loved about it is that you can just shift it 90 degrees and it would automatically cause the treat to come out. So I loved that feature. And of course, just being able to work at a distance from her, I think, there was somewhere I had to be like 60 feet away from her to have her do like a down and a sit. And for me to be able to like rush back to her to give her a treat, like I'm not the fastest driver. So to get all the way back there to give her a treat was going to be a challenge. So I loved that you can work at a distance with this product, and I can easily just trigger it to give her the treat. And she learned so much faster that way. And I don't know if I would have been able to do that without it. So, and I know that you guys, now I used the Pet Tutor, that was about 4 years ago. So I know that you guys have been working on some really cool new features. I'd love to hear more about those because I know those will really help people with mobility issues as well.
Yeah, definitely. I will mention for anyone watching, Sarah, you've got some great videos of Annie up on your Instagram, as well as your pet bird. I forget what its name is.
Gracie, yeah.
Gracie, yes, Annie and Gracie. But they really cool videos. All of the team members here have looked through them, and they're great.
Thank you.
We have worked on a lot over since you've got your pet tutor 4 years ago. A lot has changed with the addition of Bluetooth. That was huge for a lot of people, and the phone app that you can trigger the feeder from the phone app rather than just the clicker. So there's multiple options there. But yeah, we are working on a lot of products recently, more recently, I should say, for those living with disabilities. So we've got wheelchair mounts, we've got another clicker that's not yet in the shop yet, but we are kind of in that beta testing phase with it, that we actually allow individuals to hook it up to their wheelchairs, which is amazing. Yeah. We've heard from a lot of people who have used the product that it's changed their relationship with their dog. You're a perfect example of that as well, being able to become a dog trainer with using the Pet Tutor. Obviously, it took some hard work and dedication, but the Pet Tutor had a little bit of help there as well. So I don't know. I can actually have one of our Bill, would you like to maybe demo? So Bill's one of the Pet Tutor team members. He's been working on a lot of these products as of late. So I'm going to actually let Bill explain kind of the mounts, the remotes, and everything that we've been working on and are excited to hopefully soon release once we get some more testers out there. If anybody is interested in testing it, please reach out to support@pettutor.biz. But I'll let Bill take it away.
Sounds great.
You are on camera, Bill.
Oh, okay. First thing I want to show you is a current product. This is our smart clicker. This came out a little bit after Sarah got hers. It allows you to feed by pressing the buttons. But the advantage for people that are physically challenged is that it also has an accelerometer that responds to being knocked around, okay, if it gets tipped. So you don't have to press a button on it. You put it into the accelerometer mode, and all you have to do is give it a little bump like that, and it will trigger the feeder. And that's what we're already selling. It's made in nice shape so that it rocks well. And makes it pretty easy. If you've got enough motion in your hands to be able to do that, then you can feed. We've also been working on this product, which is a clicker that also causes it to feed. Basically, it has the same electronics as this one, but it has additional features. First off, it has several AA batteries so that it can last a long time. You'll see the same blue buttons down here as this one. But it's also got these connectors here, which you can connect to we have someone who connects it to their integrated head motion detector. And this is a person who's a quadriplegic and has no motion below the shoulders. So he can fire it by going like that.
Oh, wow.
And, he previously had a dog, but of course he couldn't, the dog wouldn't relate to him, the dog related to his aide, because that was the person who was feeding him. And so with a Pet Tutor, he can feed his dog, and he's very happy with that. And he also has it mounted on his wheelchair so that he has a relationship with the dog. the mount that he has, we've kind of changed a little bit, and we're still working on it. These are prototypes. So this is the pet tutor and a bowl and a plate that you could mount on your foot mount. And that would bolt down, and it's made so that you can take it off real easily. If you know, to get on on the chair, and then remount it. It has adjustments so you can angle it to you know, because your foot mount doesn't stay the same every day.
Yeah.
And so that's got an adjustment there, easy enough to adjust with the wing nut. And you see that we have a bowl that receives it, the food pellet. We don't want to be dropping the food on the floor, because
Yes.
trainers don't like that. And so and that's and we have this easy mount that we use for our. I'm having trouble. Oops, no.
Say it's not as stable.
Oh, okay.
The bowls, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, that comes off, this comes off real easily, and the bowl is there. And so another version we have here, and you'll notice this, the other one I had was a short version, this tall, about 5 inches. This one here is about 8 inches. The only difference is this one holds a little more capacity, how often you want to fill it.
Right.
And this one here was made for someone who is also in a wheelchair or scooter, but he wanted the mount in a place so that this portion here fits underneath the seat cushion, and
really
this
nice.
goes down to the dog's level. Can I kind of demo it? I don't have a seat cushion here, but it would be like
That'll
this.
work.
Say, and we don't have a
that's
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's another adaptation. You notice it has clips that make it easy to get in and out, so that if you know, to get into the chair is one thing, and then you know, if you want to use it, it can stay there for a long time. We have videos on our website of both of these products being used. You know, and people being very happy with them because they can finally relate to their dog.
Right.
Quadriplegics, paraplegics, and so they've all been able to use. So Pet Tutor exists. We've modified it since Sarah's time. We've got a Bluetooth. We have the Bluetooth clicker, the prototype clicker. That's real close to being released. And we have these two mounts. This one here has been accepted. This one here, actually today I was working on some changes to it because we respond to the needs of our beta testers, and they told us that they would prefer it to be mounted slightly different, and we're doing that.
I love that you guys are making those adaptations to help everyone, depending on their different, you know, needs and their different mobility issues. And I love what you guys were talking about it really helping your clients to be able to bond with their pet. And I think that's so true, because I think for a lot of us, especially if you live in like a family situation where there are different personal assistants helping, it can be challenging because it's easier for them to bond with the dog because they can do all the things that the dog is enjoying, whether that be a walk or to be pet a lot and cuddled, and for some, and even training and treats and feeding. So in a lot of situations, if there's mobility issues, it can be a little bit harder to do that. So I think one of the ways to be able to really bond is, of course, through feeding and through training. And what I love about the Pet Tutor is that it enables those of us with limited mobility to still do that. And, you know, I love how it mounts to the wheelchair, so that way the food is coming straight from where the person is. And, you know, I think it's even a lot of times where, I think in situations where a trainer might be working with a client with a disability, they kind of feel like they have to train the dog, and maybe they'll have the person give them a treat, but they'll kind of help them do that. And oftentimes it still creates this relationship where the dog goes, oh, every time that person is in the room, then I get the treat. So there's still, it's not quite as strong to be able to build that bond. And that's what I loved about it. It's like I could be outside with my dog Annie doing training completely on my own and using the pet tutor, and she just knows I'm the only person in the room. And I think a lot of people question, like, will it make the dog bond to the pet tutor and not me? But that's completely not true, because as a trainer, I can tell you that there's, positive associations are created whenever, you combine it with something. So for example, the dog has to listen to you first in order for that treat to be dispensed. So they quickly learn it's kind of like teamwork, and they start to learn to listen to you, and that's how you create that communication and that bond. So I absolutely love that, and I know it's helped me with my dog so much, and I'm sure so many of your clients as well. Have you heard
Yeah.
stories like that where clients, maybe you could tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, definitely, Sarah. And I mean, like you mentioned, I know that it is an issue, or some people have questioned before, like, oh, is it going to hurt the bond that the food's coming from this device rather than me?
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, the pet tutor isn't going to be the perfect application for every scenario. We would love it to be, and it
Yeah.
is a great application for a lot of scenarios. But you just have to kind of pick and choose which one that you want to work on, and which one the pet tutor can assist you and aid you on in that situation. And it being so close to the person and having the ability to click with your phone or your app, or the smart clicker, for example, the dog knows that you're the one providing those treats, I'm pretty sure, rather than this
Right.
machine here. You can see that they're looking at you, they aren't looking at the machine.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but definitely lots of success stories. We've got one gentleman, he was a quadriplegic. Bill mentioned that we've had some quadriplegics, and he was losing that bond between him and his dog, which is a case that we've seen far too often. Not having the ability to treat your dog definitely lessens that relationship, or give them their meal, which is something that the pet tutor can do. Holding up to 5 cups or 3 cups, you can even feed
Yeah.
your whole meal. Um, it's amazing, some of the stories that we've heard. And your story especially is incredible. Wes is clapping over here. I, I just, when we received that email from you, it really meant a lot to us as a team. And I think Wes maybe even has some more stories that he'd like to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah, I just wanted to say I am so appreciative that you reached out to us and let us know, told us your story about how you're using the pet tutor. I think I'd mentioned to you before, I've been a volunteer in a service dog training program for, gosh, about 14 years. And I probably worked with well over 100 dogs now, service dogs in training. And it's an area, even today, I still have a service dog in training with me. It's an area I'm very
Wow.
passionate about. And
Yeah.
it's very important to me, to our whole team, that we provide the tools for people to interact with their dogs. Even if they have disabilities, we want that not to be a barrier for the human
Right.
animal bond. And your story just, it delighted me. When I read that, man, I was just, I was so happy. And so
Oh,
thanks
thank
again
you.
for reaching out to us.
Of course, thank you. And I'm so appreciative to you guys for making this amazing product, because it absolutely, I know, changes so many lives, but especially mine, because now I'm able to help others too through being a trainer, be able to help clients. And so I'm so grateful. And I think, for a lot of people who may wonder, is this going to help me, or how can this help me? I think possibilities are endless if you just use a little creativity and have some determination, and use something like this, this amazing product, really helps. And I think that anybody can reach their training goals, whether they want to have a service dog, or want to just do fun tricks, or want to have a bond with their dog. I think it helps anyone at any level of training.
We had
So
a
I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Sarah. I mentioning other customers too. I mean, it's for anyone in the dog training world too. We've had a couple customer webinars as of late, within the last couple months. A longtime customer, Eileen Udry, recently presented. She works a lot in the shelter, and she's got a nonprofit that does some shelter work. And she had a dog that was fearful of injections, and they had to give the dog injections. And the pet tutor actually helped her overcome with that specific dog giving those injections. And she showed a video on the webinar. It's up on our YouTube page for anybody that wants to check that out, of giving the dog an injection and him being treated by the pet tutor. He didn't even realize that the injection was happening. He just sat there. You couldn't. It was amazing. And then we had another customer, longtime customer, present on gun dog training and hunt test training, which is something that I wasn't very familiar with. But there's a lot of people out there too that are working towards positive reinforcement-based training in that field, which is a little uncommon, becoming more and more common. But that's our goal, is positive reinforcement. We want to make that become a reality for every dog trainer, and even every pet owner. So
I love what you're saying about the injections, because I think that's not even something, I don't know why, that wasn't something that came to my mind, but we do a lot of animal husbandry behaviors where you help the dog to get used to those kinds of things. And I work with the veterinary office as well. And I think that, you know, we're talking a lot about those with mobility issues, but I mean, the possibilities are endless of what you can use this for. I think veterinary clinics might really benefit from this, especially fear-free veterinary clinics, as well as, you know, separation anxiety cases. This is absolutely remarkable for, because you can reinforce the dog when you're not even present. So, you know, there are so many possibilities that go outside of just mobility, helping people with mobility issues, but just training in general. So thank you so much for making this product.
Yeah, Bill had one comment too.
Sarah reminded me of a couple of things. We have a phone app that you put on your mobile phone, Android or iOS, and that allows you to do several things. One of them is to trigger the feed, and we have one fellow who is very limited in his motion, and he does everything with he has a stick alongside of him, and when he goes to trigger the app, he goes and grabs the stick and pokes the phone, and that feeds his dog. Cool. So that works real well for Martin. The phone app can do other things too, and one of them is it can set up your pet tutor to feed a meal a little at a time. You'll feed instead of when my dog gets a bowl of food, it takes about 30 seconds to go down. Yeah. But you can set your pet tutor to feed it a piece at a time, every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, you know, with a 3.5 cup or a 5 cup dispenser, you can have several meals in there. And,
I love that. That
you can do that through the phone app.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And now, so for those who don't know how that works, do you just download the app and then get the new version of the pet tutor to be able to utilize that? Okay.
Yes, and it has other functions too. It works real well, but it's always being worked on to add more features.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you guys are always working towards trying to make it more user-friendly for everyone, but especially those with mobility issues. So I'm so grateful to you guys for really always keeping that in mind.
Yeah, it's a goal of ours for a long time. So again, if anybody, first of all, has any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. We can answer your questions. We've got a few minutes here. I don't want to take up too much of your time today, Sarah, but I think we've got a few minutes for questions. And if anybody is interested in testing out some of these beta products, especially for the wheelchairs, let us know. Send us an email at support@pettutor.biz, and we'll make sure that we can get that for you. We meet the needs of anyone and everyone. So
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think too, you were going to post this afterwards, right? If anybody has questions, they could post maybe in the Pet Tutor Instagram, and then we'll both be checking. We can also
Definitely
answer questions there as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Sarah.
All right, perfect.
I don't see any
thank you guys
questions
so
coming in
much.
yet. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm so glad we could do this and work it out. We'll have to do it again sometime. Maybe we
Sounds
can
good.
do a Zoom webinar or something in the future.
Yeah, that
Wes
sounds
is shaking his head definitely. So.
good. Thank you all so much, and I hope that you guys have. Oh, we have a question. Any upcoming devices in the works? So you guys would probably be better answering that.
Sure, that's a great question. I'm actually going to turn it over to Wes and have him answer that question. Any upcoming devices in the works?
Yeah. Yes. Always. Yes. My background is engineering, and so I just love tinkering. We have new software products. In fact, we've got a new version of the app we're working on today. Right now, as we speak, we're testing out a new version of the app. We launched a version a few months ago, so we're always redoing our app for the smartphones. The attachments, we've been adding new attachments, not only for the wheelchair, but for travel as people are trying to travel. We've got a more compact travel kit now. Electronically, we've got several things in mind, so I don't want to overcommit until we've got them actually ready to test, but we do have some add-on stuff that's in the works. Bill showed you the new remote that can be adapted to the electronic control system of a wheelchair. So people that have electronic wheelchair controls with like head movements or other input devices, we're very interested in customizing those too. So even if we don't have something, think of us as your one-stop shop for custom engineering stuff too. So if you have an idea, and this goes for you, Sarah, if you think, well, you guys ought to do such and such, let us know. We'll give it a shot.
Sounds good. I love that. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, definitely. I don't see any other questions. Thank you again, Sarah. We'll have to do it again.
Awesome. Sounds great. And thank you guys so much. And I hope you have a great week. And thank you for taking the time today to chat with me.
You as well. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Bye.
Bye.